Welcome everyone to another edition of Real Talk Thursday. It's your founder of the Yoga of High Ticket Selling Group, Larissa Popov, Divine Business Mentor, and I'm very pleased to welcome Katja Rusanen, story coach and spiritual mentor, to the group today. She's actually a member of our group as well, but she's here as our featured guest interview for another edition of Interview with the Expert. So before we get into our talk today, which is about 3 things to know before you create your next offer. So for those of you who are thinking about creating something new, this is a really important session for you. So please stay tuned. And if you have any questions for Katja, please come on and type in the chat in the comments below the video, and I will check the chat later on in the interview to see what your questions are. So feel free to post those. So before we get into it, just to share a little bit about Katja, she is a #1 best-selling author, a transformational business coach, speaker, and spiritual mentor. She has worked as a supervisor in one of the world's leading business banks and has been part of a team in a multi-million-dollar coaching company that was named one of Inc. 5000's fastest growing companies in America. Katja is now dedicating her life to helping clients discover the power of authentic stories and creating a business that they love. Welcome, Katja.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being here. So what led you to this path that you're on now with your coaching business?
As you mentioned, I used to work in one of the world's leading business banks. And when I got that position, I was super excited. I was climbing the ladder and thinking, this is it. But then during the years, I started to feel this calling in my heart to do something different, help people other ways. And that calling started to get stronger and stronger. And I kept pushing it away, like, come on, I am focusing now on banking. But then I started to have pain in my chest area. And you know, when you start having pain in your chest area, you start kind of listening more carefully, like, hey, what's happening? And I went to all kind of tests, and the doctor was saying it's just stress. But I knew I needed to take a leap of faith and follow that calling that was in my heart to start a coaching business. And you know, I was saying to the universe, like, okay, I did now my part of the deal. I took a leap of faith. I started coaching business. So bring me the clients. And guess what I heard? Crickets. I was like, oh my goodness, how hard can it be to start a coaching business? Because I thought like, okay, I have been able to figure a very complicated and complex banking system, the back system that is in banking. And then I thought like, okay, I can figure out the coaching business. Please, there is a tip 1. Do not ask that question. How hard can it be? Because the universe will show you. And I ended up spending hours and hours trying to figure out, how can I serve clients? How can I find them? How can I help them? Because I just had this calling in my heart to help them. And that led me to study at various programs. And luckily, I did find a business mentors who started to help me on the way. But it took me a while because I was like, I need to figure things out on my own. And then I was like, okay, I give up. I was one day on my knees, like, and when the student is ready, teachers appear. And that happened to me. And I started saying like, okay, I need help. And the help appeared. And then I was starting to get a structure around what I was offering, how I was offering things. And that started bringing me clients. And I finally was able to actually do the work that I was called to do. And that now have led me then to wanting to pay forward what I have learned, because I made that leap of faith 10 years ago, 2012. And now 10 years later, I feel like I want to share with others what I have learned on this journey, because I know there are so many, and especially in your group, there are so many people who have a huge calling in their heart. So finding a way, then actually find a way to start doing the work, get those clients so you can do the work. So that is a long answer to your question. How did I end up doing what I do now?
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that our viewers, or many of our viewers, can relate to. You know, it's like, where are the clients? And this is so hard. And I think a lot of it too is that if we don't have the right action steps and the strategies in place, it becomes a lot harder. And when we're not putting our energy in the right places, it becomes a lot harder. So we need that support. We need that guidance to help us take the right actions at the right time. So
totally.
So what is the most important thing that you've learned about creating offers?
So there are a couple of things that I have learned a lot, but one of the things is that actually you need to make offers to get yeses, because if you're not offering, people do not get the opportunity even to say yes. And that was something I struggled with, like moving from a job to being an entrepreneur. It was a mindset shift as well. Like, actually, I do need to put things out there so that people can hear about me, so that they can have a connection with me, and then they can hire me. So that was the number one thing that I have learned, like making offers. And yes, that can be scary. I have struggled and with the self-doubt and all these hesitations that come forward, like, who am I to do this work, and all these kind of things. But then there is that calling. And that is one of the things, like, your why can be stronger than the fear. When you focus on that why, let that pull you forward. Let that love that you feel when you can help people pull you forward to overcome yourself. So that has been a big lesson for me, to overcome all these thoughts in my mind and like, oh, who am I and what do people say? And especially when we start maybe a little bit different route and we have a little bit different offering that is out from the mainstream. I remember when I was in banking and I started studying spiritual life coaching that time, I didn't even tell my boss that. I just said, I'm studying life coaching. I dropped the spiritual away because I knew it was, even the life coaching was like, why do you do that? So when we start putting those offers out there and claiming our expertise, it is one thing to have them support people around you, like this group, like people around you who can support you on the way as you are taking those steps forward.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think especially for those of us who are spiritual entrepreneurs and we're coming out of the spiritual closet, to bring that spiritual side forwards and to realize that as a spiritual person, we're so concerned about practicing what we preach and being a role model and not being pushy or manipulative or anything like that. But yeah, you have to make those calls to action. You have to invite people to the work, or people don't know what you're doing, and or people don't know that they can work with you. And it's actually been something, an exercise I've been recommending to my clients, is to actually make offers every single day, make calls to action every single day, because then it takes away all that ickiness around it. It's like, yep, that's what I do. You know, I invite people to work with me, and it becomes like it takes away all the drama that we are attaching to it. So yeah, so important.
One thing that comes forward, it's will help me a lot in that, like when I realized that it is actually disservice if I'm not making an offer. Because then I am not using my gifts that were given to me to help others, those who are ready and willing to work with me, but I'm not even giving them a chance. I am in my mind thinking, oh, they don't want this, and I'm making that decision for them, and not even like saying, hey, this is how I could help. If this resonates with you, let's talk. But I was making that decision in my mind, oh, they don't want it, even before. So now, like, seeing that, making this invitation, making your offers, that can be a service that you are doing for the humankind. And I think our work is so needed right now. So I just want to encourage everyone to share their gifts with the world. And that way, like, yeah, you don't want to be the best known secret. You want to actually be known for the work that you can do.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that idea. I'm like, well, why am I going to make an offer? Nobody's going to want what I have. You know, how many of you here can relate to that? I'm sure, I know I've definitely felt that way at times too. Yeah, that you're like, but if I put it out in the world, then nobody's going to want it. Nobody wants to hear from me. And it's all the ego that's just attaching all these stories. So it's good to, it's really important to be aware of that. So that's a really good gem to write down, being aware of how the mind has that tendency to believe that people don't want what I have to offer.
Yeah.
So what is the biggest struggle you would say around making offers?
I think it's a little bit what we have already touched base.
Okay.
Like overcoming ourselves. So that is a huge one. But then also having that clarity, like what you are actually offering and how you are communicating your offer for others so that it's clear. Because in my mind, everything is clear often, like, but when I say out, is it really clear for the other people as well? Because the message sent is not always the message received. And you want to then test it out, that are people getting what you say? And one of the things, and I know here are like most likely a lot of people who have multiple diplomas and certifications, and they have awesome tools and techniques they can use. And we love our techniques and tools. I do that too. But then we will talk about those tools and techniques instead of what does it give to the client? What is the outcome, the result that they get? Because we just love the journey and we don't maybe highlight enough the destination, the result that comes.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah, so that is a huge one, because that has been something I realized in my life too. I need to start with the end in mind.
So just to recap that point that Katja was just making. So clarity in your communication is really important about your offer, and that our tendency is to communicate about our approach, about our skills, about our certifications and our techniques, rather than speaking to the results or the benefits that they are going to get out of it. What's in it for them and what they are going to gain, because those are two completely different things. And when we speak about our techniques, it's often very technical. It's in our own language of the modalities or the systems that we use. And those words are not necessarily familiar to people who need your help. And so you need to create totally different language that just speaks to what they want to hear and what they need to know so that they can receive your transformation.
Totally. And that is also, sometimes we test our offers with other colleagues who have the same modalities. So of course we are saying, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But test it out also with some people who might be your ideal clients. If you have friends, just ask like, hey, if I would share this, what would you think? What you hear? Because that way you will notice if they get excited what you offer. So that is a good thing. And one of the things as well here is there is a difference between what your ideal clients want and what they need. And we as a coaches, therapists, practitioners, we often focus on what they need because we get it. We are like,
and see through all the noise and get to the roots. Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's the thing they need. And if you do that, oh my goodness, life will be so much better. but you're now meeting your ideal client where they are. And that is then a gap that makes them like, they are like, nah, that's not what I want. And that's not, oh, that's not for me. I just want this thing. So you need to think your ideal clients and meet them where they are, the level where they are, speak their language so that they can get you. And then you help them. Once they say yes, then you can help them to get what they really need, but they need to be in for that.
So just to recap, that's another really, really key central, getting chills because it's so important at this point, is that we need to speak to what they want rather than what they need. And what that means is we have to use language that speaks to how they see their situation, how they see their problems, and what they think the solution is, even though you know that there's something deeper underneath that you need to address, but you need to speak to the problem that they're aware of rather than the deeper root cause if you want them to be interested and attracted to what you have to offer. Because then once they sign up, they can get all the deeper stuff that you offer in the root cause solution. Yes. But you need to really think about, put yourself in their shoes and say, okay, well, how do they see the situation? What are the symptoms and the pain points, and what is it that they want to get out of it? So yeah, super important. Are there anything else that you would say around making offers, like challenges that coaches struggle with?
This comes to my mind, especially for your audience, because I assume a lot of us here are energy aware. So also checking in, how does it make you feel to make that offer? What is the energy that you put behind? And vision yourself already having the clients, set the intention, how many people you want to say yes to your offer. Because that is super important, to have a goal in mind, like have a number. Yes, a number. And I know some people have resistance to numbers and goals, like, oh, I don't want that. But it is super powerful. If you say, I'm sharing this offer and I want to get 3 clients, then I just want to get clients. It's more specific, and you know when you achieve it. And then you can celebrate, and celebration brings joy, and that again uplifts the energy. So I just encourage you to do inner work. If you have any resistance, to set those goals, set those numbers. And I know you talk about this too, like being specific. What is the result that you want for you to make these offers? Because it is a way how you can start manifesting things, manifesting those clients. And when you have those clients, then you can help them to achieve the results they want.
I feel like you're kind of sharing 2 points at the same time. And one is, well, you start off but with the energy, right? And that how you show up and the energy that you bring when you're making those offers makes a huge difference to expressing your unique vibration and attracting the right people to you. And then the second thing around being specific around manifestation, because if those of us who are into law of attraction, we know if you want to manifest something, you have to be clear on what that is. And saying, I want clients, it's not clear enough. Like how many do you want, and when are they going to come, and what is that going to look like? You know, the more clear you can be, the easier it's going to be for the universe to deliver it to you. So being clear on what it is you want. And even if, like, let's say your goal is 10 and you get 7, wouldn't that be great? Right? Like, because as soon as we set the number, it's so triggering, right? That it kicks up all this fear of failure, and what if I don't make it, right? But knowing that you have this goal, being 100%, and just trusting, okay, whatever will be, but I'm clear on what I want and I'm putting it out there.
That's right. And I know I'm sharing a lot because it's such a good topic. I'm like, there's so many things to share on this, because I really, truly have this desire to help like purpose-driven, heart-centered entrepreneurs to share their work out there in the world.
So what would you say beyond what you've shared so far, what would be a good first step for people to get comfortable making offers?
Get clear on your offer. There are actually 5 key elements that you need to have in your offer to make it work. So getting really clear what you are offering so that you know exactly how you're going to start communicating your offer, because that will bring clarity and that will bring you confidence. The confidence will come when you are clear. Because one thing that happens if we don't have that clarity and we are just sharing our work and we share this and then we are like, oh, and I needed to add this and that, and the one who is listening is like, oh, okay, where does this go? And they get confused. And then when they are confused, one thing is sure, confused mind does not want to make decisions. So they are stepping back and like, okay, let me digest what you just shared. And then often we may take that personally. We are like, oh my goodness, my offer is not good enough. My work is not good enough. But it can be just that gaining that clarity that you know how you talk about your offer. That will make huge difference for you, how you attract those clients. And then you will be also more excited to share your offer, your invitation when you have that clarity.
Yeah, it's so true. It not just even communicating clearly and understanding your offer for their benefit in terms of the words you use, but I find too, like, I'm not always clear, right? When I communicate, like, I'm not even clear inside myself. And if I communicate in a way that isn't clear, it doesn't matter how brilliant my ideas are, people won't have confidence because people have confidence in certainty. Like, you need to be certain about what this is that you're offering and how to talk about it. And so, yeah, what you're saying is, I think what you're saying is, when you're clear on your offer and how to communicate about your offer, it creates that feeling of certainty and confidence and trust in you that is going to help, invite them to that transformation that you offer.
Yes. And that is a process. So when you get started, you might need to say it a few times and it gets easier and easier and you get better and better. When you have those key blocks, though, it makes it easier. So you start practicing, and it is, again, just a practice. So have a lot of kindness and compassion with yourself as you start going out there and making offers. So just embrace yourself as you are learning this. It's a skill. You can learn it for sure.
That's great. And I'm so glad that you are able to share this with everyone because it's such an important fundamental step. So I understand that you have an invitation for our group today.
I do, because as you hear, I am super excited to help others, coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs share their work in the world, share their gifts. So I have created a 5-day offer, a 5-day challenge that is Nail Your Next Offer. And this will help you to gain that offer clarity that we talked about, because I'm going to share the 5 essential elements that you need to know before you make your next offer. And we will also talk about a formula, how to name your offers so that they are clear and aligned and magnetic, because you definitely want to have alignment with your offer. And then also you discover the exact words, how to communicate the value of your offer so that it's clear and concise and helps you to stand out in the marketplace. So that's what's happening inside the Nail Your Next Offer 5-day challenge.
I love that title. And yeah, communicate. I got excited when you said how to communicate your value, because I know that is such a sticking point for entrepreneurs around feeling confident in the prices that you charge for your programs and services. And when you're so clear on the value that you offer and you're able to communicate it, then it's so much easier to ask for those investments. So yeah,
right.
it's super, that sounds really exciting. I'm happy for you.
Yes, I am super excited about this. So I'd love this resonates with you. I'd love to have you joining the challenge because it is an opportunity to get my support. I have added there a lot of also help, like I am checking the entries like every day. You get a training videos and I keep them short because I know how busy people are. So they are all under 15 minutes. I go straight to the point, and then you have a little assignment. And when you submit that assignment to our Facebook group, I will give feedback on that. So that way you will get support to clarify your offer too. And after the 5 days, you have worked on those 5 essential elements. And then you can go out there and share your offer with more confidence and ease.
Amazing. Yeah, it's so valuable to be able to have that opportunity to get that feedback, because when you're working in your own head, it's confusing and you may be really off track. So having that opportunity to have you take a look at it is really going to help people go in the right direction. And I feel like this invitation that you're giving right now is so timely, because as the frequencies are changing and the consciousness is evolving, I know a lot of us, and I've been talking about this too, and I'm actually in the process of creating a new offer right now myself, that what I was doing last year doesn't even feel relevant anymore. Like I need to do something that expresses a higher level of consciousness within myself. And I know collectively, as light workers and energy workers and people who are really tuned into the consciousness, like we are ready for this next stage in our evolution, and many of us are at that place where we want to create something new. So it's a very good timing for those of us who are in that process of creating new offers.
Yes, it's definitely time to share our gifts with the world more than ever.
So any last words before we wrap up?
I just would love to share with you that your gifts were given to you for a reason. And I know that you have that calling in your heart. So don't let yourself to be on the way for you to do the work that you came here to do. Get support, and hopefully this Nail Your Next offer can support you to share those gifts, because it is really truly an opportunity for you to serve more people and create the impact and also income that you desire. So it is a way to be in service when you are creating these offers that people can say yes to, and then they can get the support they need.
Great. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to post the link in the comments below. It is my affiliate link to invite you to this challenge. And if you're creating a new offer, if you're thinking about creating a new offer, this is a really great opportunity to get that support and get that clarity and just get it done so that you can start inviting people to that offer and feeling confident and feeling really clear on what it is that you're doing, communicating clearly and effectively, and having a great, fulfilling, successful business in the process. So thank you so much for being here today, Katja, and sharing with the group.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.